right, my bows and bow ties. All right, so let me turn this down. Okay, so let me just talk about something for a second. Let me make sure that this is turned up because I always have technical difficulties because I can be really tacky at times. Okay, so yeah, let me just say, welcome to the channel. I am the Black Opinionated woman, also known as a bow. I'm going to tell you about one of my bow thoughts for the day. My bow thought is, I am trying to listen. Okay, now I know that was a little on 10, but that's how I feel sometimes. So I honestly think my children and my husband, but especially my children, I think they're trolling me. I think they're all the way trolling me. Now, let me tell you, for the most part, I had a really great Mother's Day weekend, right? They kind of like just left me alone. But it's interesting because as soon as Mother's Day weekend, not Mother's Day day, I'm talking about Mother's Day weekend. My husband and I, we do full-on weekends, okay? Because we need it. But let me tell you about these little people. Now, my little people range from ages 10 to 17. They have a knack for knowing that when I am trying to listen to something, they want to talk to me. So, or not only talk to me, but it's also the fighting. We're also like, hey, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't understand what, like, especially when I'm listening to something. But then it becomes a matter of, there's a time and a place, well, most of the time, when you say, I am trying to listen, right? And then there's a time when you have to shut it down. So, if my child wants to show me for the umpteenth, millionth, majillionth time how quickly, my daughter, for example, she can solve the Rubik's Cube. Usually I'm like, girl, I am trying to listen to some shenanigans. Or not shenanigans. Sometimes it's legit stuff. Or my son wants to show me for the millionth time, like how much money he's making in that Roblox game where he makes his shirts and stuff, right? There's times when you're like, I can't do this anymore. And I'm just kind of like, hush. But then there's times when I need to check in. For example, my oldest, the one that doesn't talk that much, when he comes and starts talking to me, I typically try to halfway listen. Okay? So right now, he's concerned about the state of the world. He's concerned about the war. He's concerned about water and poverty and all these things. And I told him, I said, because you continuously think about such social issues, human issues, economic issues, it sounds like maybe you want to study business and economics. You want to make a worldwide impact on something. So that's when I don't necessarily fuss at my child and say, I'm trying to listen. My son with the Roblox, well, they all play Roblox except for my oldest, but like the one in particular, because he's the one that, he's always unhappy about something. He doesn't really like to talk to me. That's my daughter's twin. However, when he wants to show me, I typically tune in when he's like, hey, Mom, look, I just made another $100 on a shirt. Like, he makes these little shirts in the game, and people pay him 100 Robux. I typically try to tune in. The point I'm making is, I really do think that these kids, for the most part, are trolling me. They are. Because when I'm trying to listen to something, do something, and that's when all of a sudden they've got everything to say, they got all the questions, and that's when all the fights start happening. And because I told them at one point, I was like, look, I am tired of parenting. I'm over the parenting thing. Raise yourselves. Just raise yourselves. I think one time I actually let something go on, like an extended argument or fight. And they looked at me and they're like, Mom, you're not helping. I'm like, I don't know what you want me to do. Nobody listens to me anyway, right? You're going to keep fighting, right? But I think that, yeah, they're trolling me. I would even say my husband. Like out of nowhere one day, I was trying to listen to something. He was like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, we're really doing this right now? Because if the game was on, I started talking to you, or his crazy show. What show? If it's Moonshiners, or the Hawkins with the gold, the family that never finds any gold, and the Gold Rush. If any of those shows are on, he has no time. But for some reason, during certain shows, he wants to chit and chat and chat and chit, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So I've gotten really good at selectively responding to the point where he knows you're not listening to me. I'm like, no, I'm not. But we can. Do you really want to talk right now? Because But yeah, my family's trolling me. They've been doing this a lot lately. They just, when I need peace and quiet, they just want to talk. I just want to listen to something else, not them. Anyway, I love my family. I just wanted to share that. It wasn't meant to be like a long live. It's not. But I just had to get that off my chest. They always want to talk to me when I'm trying to listen to something. All right, so look, my bows and bow ties. I need to get off of this app situation, because I actually do enjoy the actual drive to my place of employment. Not necessarily going to work, but the actual drive is such a pleasant drive. It brings me peace. So I should probably concentrate on that. But before I go ahead and subscribe. Let's go ahead and hit that subscribe. I would love to hear from you. I really do enjoy the comments. Okay, I try to get them timely. It doesn't always happen. But go ahead. Drop a note. Let me know your both thoughts. All right. Black Opinionated Woman out.